Let me record the. Okay, fine. So if it is clear, let's. So Vinith has created the subscription, and then I will add you guys in this subscription. Okay. So I will show you how. I will try to add me, and then you can share your email ID in the group, and then Vinith will add you guys. I will try to show you how I can add me. Okay, that is what I will show you now. S- Uh, so like Vinith, give me the control.
Okay.
So here we need to select for Microsoft. First, I will add myself and then I will explain like how I have added, right? That I will explain you guys. So we need to go to Microsoft Intra ID. And then we need to go to users. And then I will add a user. I will add external user. And then I will type my email ID. Okay. And then I will send the invite to me to join Vineet in his work. Okay. I will send the invite. So invitation has been sent. Now I'm sharing my screen 1 second. So here I should have got an invite. This kind of invite we receive, but I'm not receiving that invite. Let me. Vineet, can you check the email ID? This is the email ID, right?
My
Uh,
email ID you are asking?
no. The email ID which I have added is I have written it correctly. Can you check once?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Go to Microsoft Intra ID and then see the email ID. Abhishek Agrawal 2506.
Just a minute.
Is this the email ID?
Just a moment. I'm not able to find out.
Can you
I
share
will
your
share
screen
my.
again? Yeah. Please
Okay,
share.
okay. Hmm. Uh, Guide me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm requesting the control again, and then let's go to
Users.
users.
Okay.
Yeah, I have written, I
Subscription
guess.
is okay now. There is a no issue regarding subscription. Am I correct?
No. So
Uh,
here I have added 206, I guess. I should have written
okay.
for 2506. So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
that's the problem. So, but let me check your subscription if you created a right subscription. So here, if I go to the subscription, here it's active subscription, free trial. Okay. So that is right subscription. INR offer is free trial. Okay. So your expiration is 28 days. It will expire. Okay. Now let's go to Microsoft Intra ID again, and then add a user, new user, create external user. Yeah. Now, 1 second. I will just check whether I received the invite now. Yeah, I received the invite now. Let me share my screen and show you how does it look. Yeah, this is how it will look. You will see that Vineet Bosley invited you for access to application, and then you here accept the invitation. Okay. And then accept the invitation. So invitation has been accepted now. Like I am now part of uh, Vinith tenant. Okay, now I'm part of Vinith tenant. Now I'm logged into my particular Azure account. Here, like I can log into portal.azure.com now.
So you can work individually, na? So for
Yeah.
example, okay.
So here I am part of Vinith tenant right now, but I am in the Santosh tenant. So this is I'm in a different tenant right now. So I need to go to Vinith tenant. So here I will go to Intra ID, same Microsoft Intra ID, and then I need to switch the tenant to the Vinith tenant. I need to go now. So here I will go to manage tenant. And then, yeah, this is like Vinith Vosley. This is the tenant which I will go. So here I need to click on this tenant and then I will switch. Now I'm going to the Vinith's tenant right now. then still I won't be able to work with Vinith. Why? Because Vinith haven't assigned me a subscription. So that is why I won't be able to work with Vinith. But I will show you how I can work with Vinith. So here, see, I don't have a subscription right now. Okay, so I will show you now how I can be a part of Vinith's subscription now. So Vinith, you share your screen again. After doing all of this, I will try to explain you like how does that work. So here now I am part of Vinith tenant, but I still don't have a subscription. So here I will go again to subscription. And I will go to free trial subscription. I will go to access control. And I will add a user, add role assignment. I will go over here. I will select a contributor role. And I will select member. Now I will select myself. And then I will assign myself this subscription. Now, once this role is added, I am a contributor. Like I can work with Vinith now. So let me share my screen again. Now I will be able to see the subscription. So here, once I refresh this page now, see now I do have a subscription. I can see the subscription which Vinith has, which I am part of. Okay, that I can see. So this is the same credit, the free trial subscription. I can see. Okay, so this is how it works. Now you guys can share your email ID and all of it, and then like I will try to explain you. So here now suppose when Vinith create an account, okay, Vinith came here and created an account. Once Vinith creates an account, Vinith automatically got a tenant, which you understand as a company, as an organization. Okay, so Vinith is a part of organization. One second. So Vinith, once Vinith create account, when Vinith is already a part of tenant or organization. So suppose Vinith created account, and once Vinith created account, he is a part of tenant or a organization, you can say. Now, suppose Vinith hired someone. So Vinith hired me. Okay, so I came to Vinith and then I said, hey, now provide me the subscription. Okay, so Vinith hired me Abhishek. Abhishek has been hired by Vinith. So I am part of a tenant. So what Vinith will do? Vinith will first make me a user of this tenant. Okay, Vinith will make me a user of this tenant. Now I am a user of this tenant. So first process is Vinith send me an invitation and I accepted the invitation. Then I'm part of this tenant. Abhishek is also part of this tenant. Okay. Now Vinith has a subscription. So what Vinith did, Vinith has a subscription. This is a subscription which Vinith had. Okay, so Vinith has a subscription. Vinith can take multiple subscription. Okay, but Vinith has a subscription over here. Vinith has a subscription. Now, if I am part of a tenant, it might be the case Vinith has 5 subscription. It might be the case, right? So what Vinith needs to do, Vinith needs to add me to that subscription. Then the second step which I did, I went to the subscription and then added me as a user of that subscription. Now, if you don't do this step, suppose if I am not part of the Vinith organization, then I cannot be a part of the subscription as well. Okay, so first I need to be a part of tenant, a part of organization. I need to be a part of a Like I need to be a user of that tenant, then only I can be a part of subscription. Okay, so and also if we need, so now suppose Vinit says that I want to create multiple tenant, that also Vinit can do. So Vinit can create a multiple tenant as well. 1 second. Yeah. So Vinit can create multiple tenant as well. Suppose Vinit says that Abhishek, I want to create multiple tenant. That also Vinit can do. So suppose here Vinit has a tenant and then Vinit can create multiple tenant. And also each tenant have multiple subscription. That can also happen. Each tenant can have multiple subscription. Now, if Vinit wants to add anyone, now like suppose if I joined Vinit, okay, so Vinit first needs to decide in which tenant Abhishek needs to be part of, and then Abhishek needs to be part of which subscription. So that Vinit will decide. Similarly, here you can go, and if we want to create like Intra ID, Microsoft Intra ID. So if I go to manage tenant, here if Vinit wants, Vinit can add a tenant as well. That also he can do, or I can also do that. Okay. So here create tenant. I am not getting a permission to create tenant. Why? Because this is Vinit space. If I go to my space, I can create tenant as well. Okay. So I can create multiple tenant. I can take multiple subscription, and then accordingly user can work in that subscription. Okay. Any confusion, any doubt till here, guys?
Abhishek, Pratap here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are in a contributor role, right?
Yeah.
You can create any new tenant with that role.
Uh, uh, Tenant, like I am in the contributor role, but Intra ID is like managed. So this is my Vinith Intra ID, right? So here, though I can create a data factory, that I can do being a contributor. Like suppose if I go over here, I can create a storage account. That I can do. I can create a storage account. I can create data factory. All of those I can do. But Intra ID is an active directory. The directory cannot be basically managed by the other contributor. It will be managed by the owner of that particular subscription. So being a contributor, I can contribute on creating a resources, but I cannot manage a directory, which is Microsoft Intra ID. That I cannot manage.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah, so in the past, in the previous class, what we have learned together is we have understood what is cloud and why do we use cloud. So basically, we use cloud for. Let me open that slide so that we can revise it once. Yeah, we understood that we will go through these three architecture. This is the first architecture. This is the second architecture, and then this is the third architecture. That is what we will go through, and then we understood what is cloud computing. Cloud computing is nothing but accessing someone else's computer on pay as you go model and on demand. On demand, we can opt for any of the resources, and it is pay as you go model. And we have understood the difference between on premise and the cloud. On premise is basically you cannot share your things very easily. You need to just handle everything by yourself. But in the cloud, everything will be handled by the cloud service provider. The upgrade is very easy in the cloud. Okay, so all of these benefits, because of all of these benefits, people are using all the company are migrating towards the cloud. That is why cloud is trendy right now. Then we have understood there are two model. One is deployment model, second is service model. In deployment model, there are three types: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS. What is public cloud? When the particular space is being shared, okay, that is public cloud. What is private cloud? When Microsoft is coming to your space and then doing a cloud setup for you, that is private cloud. What is hybrid cloud? Mix of both. What is IaaS? Virtual machine. What is PaaS? If you're going there coding something, that is PaaS. Software pre-built software, that is PaaS. Okay. Then we understood what is subscription, resource group, resources. So we create a subscription. If we have multiple subscription, we will do it by using management group. Then inside a subscription, we create a resource group. Similar to that, when you join an organization, you fall under a manager. So similar to that, you fall under a resource group. All the resources fall under a resource group. Okay. Then we understood how to create a like data factory, and then how to create a storage account. We also understood there are 4 types of storage account. Either you choose to create a blob service or a data lake Gen 2, file service, queue service, table service. During the course, we will focus on a blob service and data lake Gen 2 only. Then and it is very, very important interview question, that what is the difference between a data lake Gen 2 and a blob service? Okay, that is what we have seen. Now, what is the difference between a data lake Gen 2 and a blob service? Pratap, have you gone through the recording? If you've gone through the recording, can you explain me what is the difference between a blob service and data lake Gen 2? Pratap, will you be able to explain that?
Yeah,
What is
Abhishek.
the difference? What is the difference between a blob service and data lake Gen 2? Okay, if not
Sorry, I am not
Pratap, who can explain? Who can explain in the class? Vinit, Srini, or
Yeah, I can
anyone?
explain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
is it?
can.
Yeah.
So when we look at the blob storage, we will not be able to create a subfolders within a folder. Means with a
Yeah.
container cannot have a subfolders. We won't be
Yeah.
able to see the add directory option within a
Yeah.
directory. But
Yeah.
whereas we enable the hierarchical namespace in the while creating the storage, it will give us an option to create a subfolder or a subdirectory.
Yeah.
So the add directory will be enabled
Yeah.
for an hierarchical namespace. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So when you create a blob service, you cannot create a directory inside a container, means subfolder inside a folder, and also you can manage ACL access control list. Now, Vinit, in your subscription, you haven't created a storage account over here. So why you haven't got a chance to create a storage account?
No.
Okay, guys. So whatever, like it is the first class, no problem if you haven't done it. But whatever homeworks I am giving during the class, please make sure you complete that on time. And if you are not able to do it, please update me that you haven't done it, so that I can teach you accordingly. 1 and 2 days is okay, but if you will be able to get full value out of the course if you do your homework. Otherwise, I am only doing the practicing and you're just listening, so you can watch any YouTube video for that. That's not a problem. But if you actually want to utilize this course, please do it on time and ask me questions, as many questions as you can think of. Please practice things, please try things, and then reach out to me. Okay. So and also I suggest you that if you're using Vinith Space, create your separate resource group. So suppose how we can cater this. All the people who are working in Azure Space of Vinith, try to create a separate resource group, and you can try to write Vinith resource group, or suppose Srini resource group, and all of that you can write. And then all your resources, whatever work you do, you do it in your resource group, not in others resource group, so that you can separate your work accordingly. Okay. So try to create your own resource group, try to work and try to create all of your resources under that resource group instead of creating in others resource group. Okay. So try to manage. You can create multiple data factory, multiple storage account. That's not a problem. It will not charge you the money, and it will not hamper what free credits we have. Whenever it is very important to be cautious, I will inform. Okay. But you can create data factory, you can create storage account. That is not so costly. Okay. Any doubt, any concerns still here, guys?
One doubt for me, Abhishek.
Yeah.
When we log in and create a subscription, right? The directory is automatically creating it as a table directory, I mean a default directory. I'm talking about tenant.
When you come again, when you
So,
create
a subscription. Yeah. So I didn't create a directory for starting. I created directly a subscription. So when I directly created a subscription.
What do you mean by directory? What do you mean by directory?
Tenant. I'm sorry, tenant.
So when you log in, so suppose you just log in. Okay, you don't create a subscription, because to take a subscription, you need to log in, right? Without
Correct.
login, you cannot create a subscription. Once you log in, you automatically assigned a tenant. You don't need to create a tenant.
Correct.
You automatically assigned a default tenant. So suppose here, once Vineet created an account, he automatically assigned a default tenant, which is this. Now,
Correct.
if you want to create another tenant, that you can do, but you automatically assigned a tenant.
If I want to rename this default tenant,
That I haven't tried. I don't know how to rename it. I can see an here and there click, but 1 second. This is the Vineet tenant. Just play around with here and there something. Like if
Sure.
you want to rename it, how you can
Okay.
rename that, you can play around, but I haven't played around in that manner, that how to rename this tenant. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There should be something related to that JSON file will come there. We can.
Yeah. So somewhere you can do it anyways, but I haven't like tried to do it, or I haven't I just haven't done it before. But if you want, you can try it.
Sure.
1 second. I'm just going to a different tenant. Where is Santosh? Yeah. Okay, guys. So now what we will do. So I'm coming back to this architecture which we are targeting right now. So we created storage account, and we created data factory. Okay. We created storage account, we created data factory. Now we will understand how to move the data from your source to destination using data factory. That is what we will understand. And to do that, let's go to data factory first, and then I will give you the brief about data factory. So you can click to data factory, you can go to the data factory, launch studio. Yeah, this is data factory. Now, do you need to always go in this manner? Like you always need to log into portal.azure.com, click to data factory, launch studio, and then come here. No, it's not the case. If you you can directly log into adf.azure.com. That also you can do. You always don't need to go to portal.azure.com, go to data factory, and then log in. You can directly log into adf.azure.com. That also you can do. You can try doing it, but you can do it. Okay. And in which case you do it. So in some companies, people don't want to give you the portal access. In that way, suppose if you are a ADF developer, they only give you the ADF access instead of giving you the portal access. Okay. So in some ways, you directly log into adf.azure.com. Okay. Now in this space, this is the home tab. Okay, in which you can just like explore, ingest, orchestrate, transform data. Here and there's some functionality. This is the main page in which you develop your pipeline. So here you develop all your pipeline. What I mean by pipeline, suppose this is a simple pipeline in which you're copying the data from the source to sink, means source to destination. So source can be anything. Source can be your on-premise server or any server, and then sink is where you want to move it. So suppose you have taken a particular source, which is here, this guy has taken data lake storage, and then he is moving the data to another storage kind of, which is data lake storage, but output file. Here he is choosing the input file. So source and sink, you can choose anything, and then accordingly move the data. So if I go to the source, you can take any of these source, and then sink can be anything. Okay. So this is the pipeline. All in all, this is pipeline. We will go through each and every step. How do you define source, sink, and all of that? But this is the space where you will design your pipeline. This space is a monitor space where you can understand what you have run in the past. So suppose here, if I just click, no, this person is not working from, I guess 7 days. Let me go to the debug tab. And then if I go to 7, yeah, so he created a pipeline, run it on 13th to 12th, and after that he haven't worked. But here you can see the past run. What other runs has happened? This is the link service integration runtime, which we will learn right now. Link service integration runtime. Here you can understand, you can see what are the links are there, mainly address. Okay, so what are the different address, what are the different source system you can connect using ADF, that you can see over here. And then this is a learning center where you can learn something. I haven't basically used this much and explore around, but you can just see this and explore around. Okay, now let's go over here. So if I go to this architecture, by using data factory, we want to move the data. Now to move the data, we need a connection, right? Simple. So when you want to move your luggage from one place to another, you basically need the address of your source and also destination. So similar to that, in data factory, if you want to move your data from one place to another, data factory needs the address of your source, data factory needs the address of your destination. Simple. So here, if you want to move the data from source, which is your on-premise server, for example, on-premise server or MS SQL or MySQL or C drive, anything. Okay. If you want to move the data from your source, which is this, to destination, which can be your Azure Blob Storage or Data Lake Gen 2, for example, Blob Storage or Data Lake Gen 2, which is your sink or destination. Azure Blob Storage. And how you want to do it? You want to do it using ADF. So ADF is a machine which is helping you to do it, ADF. Now, when you ask ADF, hey ADF, move the data. So ADF will first ask the address of this, and then he will ask the address of this. Then only ADF can move the data, as simple as that, right? Now to get the address and to make a connection, you need two things. What are the things you need? First is integration runtime. And second is link service. Now, what is integration runtime and what is link service? Again, very, very important interview question. Like, it is by default an interview question. So when you are giving and approaching the interviews in Azure space, it is very favorite interview question for any of the interviewer, that what is integration runtime and what is link service. Now there are three types of integration runtime. So I will just go over here and then show you. There are three types of integration runtime: Azure default integration runtime or auto resolved integration runtime, Azure self-hosted integration runtime, and SSIS. Azure default integration runtime you will use to connect with any of the cloud service. Okay, so you will use to connect any of the cloud service. Okay, so Azure default integration runtime is a runtime which you will use to connect with any of the cloud service. Okay, so if you want to connect with Azure Blob Storage, you will use Azure default integration runtime. Now the second integration runtime, which is a cloud service, because Azure Blob Storage is a cloud service, right? So you will use Azure default integration runtime for it, or auto resolved integration runtime. Why we call it Azure default integration runtime? Why? Because once you make your space, if I go to the integration runtime, this auto resolved integration runtime is a Azure default integration runtime. So when you make your space, when Vinit will also make his data factory, and when you guys will make your data factory, this integration runtime will automatically come in your Azure space. You don't need to make it. It is offered by Microsoft to move the data to the cloud, any of the cloud, no matter. So people might think that, hey Abhishek, we can move the data only in Azure cloud. No, that's not the case. You can move the data to Amazon cloud as well, GCP cloud as well, or Dynamics 365 cloud as well by using this integration runtime. It is not dependent on which cloud you want to move data. If you want to move data to any of the cloud, you use auto-resolved integration runtime or default integration runtime. Why default? Because you don't need to make it. It is by default present and managed by Microsoft. Now, the second integration runtime which is there is Azure self-hosted integration runtime. Whenever you are moving the data to any of the on-premise server, in that case, you will use self-hosted integration runtime. And third integration runtime is SSIS integration runtime, which helps you to import SSIS packages. Have I used it? No. Have you? You will use it? Probably no. Like why? Because it is just help you to import SSIS packages, which is a service offered by on-premise service offered by Microsoft for the ETL job. So basically, I haven't worked on this much, and mostly 95% of people don't work on this. The people who uses this are the SSIS developers. Okay, so if you're SSIS developer, then you might use this. In the interview, you should tell about it, but you can honestly tell you haven't worked on this because it is not so used integration runtime. The main two integration runtime is Azure default integration runtime and self-hosted integration runtime. Self-hosted integration runtime is being used to connect with any of the on-premise server. Default integration runtime is being used to connect with any of the cloud server. Now, default integration runtime, we understood that, yeah, we will use Azure default integration runtime to connect with the blob service. Now, your self-hosted integration runtime, you will use to connect with the on-premise service. In that case, what you will do? You will download a software in this particular source, okay? And then ADF will communicate with this source by using this particular software which you have downloaded. So let me show you a diagram. So like, yeah, so self-hosted. Guys, do you have any doubt till here? Any confusion which is not clear?
So integration runtime is something like where we connect to server, correct?
Yes, you're right.
And
yes.
within that server, we can have a databases where we can use a linked service for that.
Yeah, you perfectly explained it. So yeah, so here suppose the data factory is there, right? So in the corporate firewall, you install this integration runtime, which is self-hosted integration runtime. Now, if you have multiple databases that link service will offer, that I will try to explain you now. So suppose right now I'm explaining this integration runtime. So what you will do, you install this integration runtime in your local server, and then ADF will communicate with that integration runtime. Okay. So suppose if you have installed this integration runtime, you download a software over here. Now let me show you how do you do that. So here you can go click new. You click on self-hosted. You click continue. You click on self-hosted again. You click continue. And then create an integration runtime. Now download and install integration runtime. Okay. Now suppose I want to bring the data from Vinith computer, for example, or Srini computer or Pratap computer. What I can do, I can send this link to Pratap. Suppose Pratap said that, hey, move the data from my computer. So I will give the link to Pratap, and Pratap will download this particular integration runtime in his computer. Okay, he will download it, and he will just click here and then download it. Okay. And then he will run the installer. Okay, so I will just show you. I'm not doing it because whenever I do it, my laptop hangs due to some reason, because my laptop is kind of like old and it is not like basically handle this software, but you can anyways do it. Okay, that's not a problem. So here, like this we have done. Now this particular key you can see, right? This key you can see. So here, if I just go and then once Pratap will run the installer, he will see this kind of space. Then Pratap will ask me the key. I will give the key to Pratap, and then Pratap will register. Once Pratap register it, and once Pratap has an active internet connection, then my data factory will be able to communicate with that integration runtime with Pratap has installed. Why? Because I have given him the key of my data factory and then Pratap authenticated it. Yeah. So here, this is Abhishek data factory, for example, right? This is Abhishek data factory. Abhishek data factory. Now what Pratap did, Pratap installed this software. Now Abhishek has given me a key. So Pratap said, yeah, Abhishek, you can access it by authenticating it. So I just basically installed the software and ADF will able to communicate with this server. Okay, for example. Now, again, someone can ask me that, hey, I have multiple database, MySQL, MS SQL, all of that is present over here. Suppose I have MySQL, this is MySQL. And this is MS SQL, for example, right? This is MS SQL. Now, still Pratap can say that, Abhishek, you haven't asked me your MySQL password, my MS SQL password. How this particular is integration runtime which you have installed is will be able to communicate with MySQL or MS SQL. For that, we need link service because I haven't like Pratap haven't given me the credential of this, right? So for that, it comes a link service. So for that, we need basically a link service. So here you can go to the link service. You can click to the new link service. Suppose we have my MS SQL, for example. So I can type SQL. I can consider SQL Server. And then I will select my installed integration runtime. This CentOS integration runtime I can consider. This is the self-hosted integration runtime. I can give the server name, database name, and I will ask username and password from Pratap so that Pratap can again give me the credentials so that using that integration runtime, I can communicate with that particular database which is present in Pratap space and then basically make a connection of that. Once I make a connection of this, if I want to move the data from MySQL, ADF will go through this and take the data from here and then move the data to here because I do have a connection of both of the space. This is how the things will happen. So what is integration runtime? Integration runtimes helps you to basically, if I put in very, very layman terms, it helps you to make a connection with your server, and link service or helps you to make a bridge between data factory and the server, and link service is kind of a password to access that bridge so that you can reach to a databases. Okay, so this is how you can explain link service integration runtime. The interview questions are probably what is the difference between integration runtime and link service, what are the difference between what are different integration runtimes are there, and why auto-resolved integration runtime is a default integration runtime. All of those questions can be asked and it is very, very important topic. Any questions still here, guys?
One doubt, Abhishek. So when we are trying to pull the data from on-premises, we used self-hosted integration runtime.
Yes.
So so we were installing the integration runtime in the on-premises computer.
Yeah.
So in the Azure Data Factory, when we were creating the integration runtime, so there as well we need to select the self-hosted integration runtime only, or can it be an auto integration runtime? On-premises, definitely it should be self-hosted, correct? But
On-premise, yeah.
But
so
in
see,
the Azure, what
yeah.
should it be?
Yeah, so suppose like I will just try to give you an example once again. So like so that it is too clear, very clear for you guys. So let me take this screenshot. 1 second. Yeah, let me try to give you example and let me try to show you. So here, if I make it new, okay. Now, if let's do a very simple example. So MS SQL, I want to move the data from MS SQL to Azure Blob Storage. Now, what is the method which I will follow? Okay, I will tell you that. So suppose MS SQL is present in my computer. And blob storage I only created just now. Okay, so what I will do, I will first install this self-hosted integration runtime in my computer. Okay, so what I will do, so this is suppose MS SQL, this is server, my computer, this is my computer. And this is suppose MS SQL. Here MS SQL is present. Now what I will do, I will follow the same method. Here I will go and integration runtime. I will install this integration runtime. I will click to the integration runtime. I will select self-hosted integration runtime. So to basically now suppose here I have a blob storage, right? Now if I have data factory, now data factory needs to have a connection with MySQL, like MS SQL first. So I am first trying to make this connection. And how do I make this connection? I will first install this integration runtime. Okay. I will first go there, click on self-hosted, click continue, click on self-hosted, click continue, and then click create, download that software, go over here.
1 minute, Abhishek. Here was my doubt.
Yeah.
So once you created the self-hosted integration runtime,
Yeah.
then only we are using this download here. So is there nothing that we need to? So is it not a generic that we can download the self-hosted?
Yeah. So this particular link is generic. So
Okay.
anybody can download. Like you can this link is generic. It is not like this link is generating from here only. It's not like that. This link is generic. You can just paste this link, give to your person, or you can directly say to the person, you download the integration runtime. He can search to the internet, download the integration runtime. What you need to do, the identification is this key. You give this key to that person so that that integration runtime will understand it is. If you give this key, that integration runtime will understand this key is for Srini, so it will communicate with Srini data factory only.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so here like first we download this integration runtime in this system, and then we authenticate. So this connection is being made. This connection is being made after you make a link service. So once you go, like once you do this, you go to the link service, you click to the new link service, you select you select SQL, and then you click to the SQL server, and then you click continue. Here you select the integration runtime which you have downloaded, give server name, database name, username, password, test connection. Then the first link service is being made. Now the second step is you make this particular connection has been made. Now the second step is this, to make a connection to this. Now for that you have an integration runtime already. So what you do, you select the storage, blob storage or data lake storage, whatever you want to use, data lake storage. Suppose I am selecting data lake storage. Now you select auto resolve integration runtime, you select your subscription, you select your account name, whatever your account name you have. You select that, and then you test your connection. Connection successful, then you create your link service. Okay, this is how you can do it. So you can create your link service, and then both the connection is here, both the link is there, and then once you have a link service, once you have link, once you have an address, then you can move the data. Simple. Okay,
got you, Abhishek.
Okay.
Any so both the places it should be self-hosted only, either in Azure or
why you're saying both places? You are working in Azure only. Okay, so you consider you are working in Azure.
Correct.
Now you tell the people, suppose I want to move the data. Suppose I am giving example. Now suppose if you want to move the data from my MS SQL to your MS SQL, for example, right? So in that case, you will install the software in your computer, in my computer, both. Like suppose let's take this example. So what we are doing right now, suppose Pratap created a data factory, for example. Now what Pratap says, hey, I'm doing an experiment in which I want to move the data from Abhishek computer to Srini computer. Abhishek computer to Srini computer. And now both have a MS SQL, for example. Okay, so both have a MS SQL, and Pratap is a ADF developer. He only knows ADF. So what Pratap will say, you guys download your data factory. So we both will download our data factory. Sorry, you both guys download the integration runtime. So we will download our integration runtime.
Correct.
Okay. Now what Pratap will do? Pratap will make two connections. One for like what Pratap will do. Pratap will give two keys. Okay. So here he will go integration runtime. He will click new. He will do self-hosted. He will do this. He will click self-hosted. He will do this, and here he will type Srini computer, for example, Srini computer. Okay, he will create it, and then he will copy this key and give it to Srini for you to you. It will give it to you. Okay, then you authenticate it. The connection is live. Okay, the connection is live. So this integration runtime, once he authenticated, this Srini connection will be live once you authenticate. Similar, he will do it for Abhishek. So he will go over here. He will do self-hosted. He will click this. He will click this, and he will write Abhishek computer. And same keys will be given to like different keys will be given to Abhishek because that is Abhishek IR. Abhishek IR. Create, and then this key he will give to Abhishek. Okay. So once both IR is there, now he will make two link service, one for Abhishek, MS SQL, one from Srini, MS SQL, and then he can move the data. Simple.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Try to do it once, and then if you're not able to do it, I will try to explain once again, but this is how you can do it. Okay.
Good.
Okay, guys. So I think let me what's the time now? This is 4 minutes. Okay, so let's conclude here. What will be the homework for you guys is do the previous homework if you haven't done it, and then try to create link service for MS SQL. If you have downloaded MS SQL, if you have downloaded MySQL, click link service, make link service for that. And then make link service for blob storage, and also make link service for data lake gen 2, and then just for experiment, this I haven't taught, but try to move the data, try to move data from blob to data lake gen 2. Just try to do it as an experiment, and then in the class I will anyways teach you guys. So yeah, so this is what you can try, and then let's connect on Tuesday 9 p.m. we will connect. Till then you practice this and try to move the data from blob storage to data lake gen 2. But we will not connect on Monday. Why? Because I'm going to office on Monday, so we will not connect on Monday, and then we'll not connect on weekends as well. We will directly connect on Tuesday, and then Tuesday till Friday we'll connect daily 9 p.m. IST. And we'll class for Vinith, we'll wait for 10 to 15 minutes and then we'll start. And 15 minutes we can just keep as a buffer to clear doubts and all of that. Okay. So see you guys. Thank you for full attendance, and let's meet tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can stay in the call and ask me the question. Otherwise, we can conclude and say bye. Yeah.
I'm good, Abhishek. Thank you.
Thank you, Srini.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Vijay.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you. Bye. How do I pronounce your name? Giselle. How do you pronounce your name?
Jessel.
Giselle, right?
Yeah, yes.
What does it
And
mean?
meaning I also don't know.
Giselle. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday's recording I have not received. You have sent it to my email.
I have sent you through. You must have got a YouTube link.
Okay. In the messages only it is there. WhatsApp message. Okay,
So you check your
I'll
message,
check.
and then you check your message, and if you haven't received it, you can just tell me. Otherwise, like you might have received it. If not, then just let me know. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
See you.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, hi
Yes,
Abhishek.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, actually I have joined today, but I have not gone through the initial videos which were shared.
Yeah.
So does that make
Yeah.
any difference, like for attending this class? Like, do we have
Uh,
any prerequisite or
yeah.
assignment thing in previous classes?
So in the previous class, I explained what is subscription, what is resource group, all of that I have explained. If you totally understood the today's class.
Yeah, mostly 60 to 70%, as it is not so technical today. So
Yeah. So what you can do, you can try to do the homework what I have given in the group, and yeah, so you just try doing your homework and then just go through the previous class, because you have Saturday, Sunday, and also Monday.
yeah,
So
sure.
and you have 2 hours of recording, so you can just play it, and then it is not so like it's just a beginning, right? So you can anyways go through it and practice it.
Yeah, sure, sure. Abhishek. Yeah, that's what, like,
Okay.
did I miss anything important? That's what I just wanted to know.
Yeah. So if you can just go through the recording, not so important right now, but like just cover it up. Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Thank you so much, Abhishek.
Thank
Happy
you. Thank you.
birthday.
Yeah. Bye. See you then.